Hey yo! Welcome to the Best Standard Podcast. I am your host, Tru Sav. For this exciting episode, we are live from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Live on the beach right now with a mojito and a straw hat with my feet in the lovely sand. Oh, you didn't believe it? I know. Well, welcome to the show. We are live from Oconda, California. We were supposed to be live from Puerto Rico, but unfortunately, the universe had other ideas for us. Again, it is your man with the master plan, Tru Sav, in the building. I was supposed to be gone this week. You were supposed to hear a pre recorded episode of great times in the past, but unfortunately, that's not what's going to happen this week. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm really sad. Like we talked about last week, we've planned this trip. We go on the same trip every year, meaning we take vacation around the same time. So, uh, it just hurts because usually, like in my mind, I tolerate all the stuff that I put up with at work and just within my personal life because I know that first week of May, I'm going to be on a tropical beach somewhere working on my tan with no cares in the world. But unfortunately, someone decided that that wasn't going to happen this year. But I'm not bitter. I'm not soggy or salty. Let me stop lying. I'm all of that. I'm so upset. You guys have, I mean, all year, I'll work doubles, I'll work weekends, I'll work whatever shifts possible because I know when these 2 weeks come, that's it. I'm going to have my vacation. It's all going to be worth it. But now there's no payoff. So I just did all this extra work, all these extra hours. Like, the money's cool, don't get me wrong, but I would much rather be on vacation. But it's cool. I'm not gonna complain about it the whole time. It's all right. I'll get over it. I had honestly, I forgot about the whole trip. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I obviously I remembered. I planned on obviously we planned on going months in advance, almost a year in advance, because you pay in advance. But after the 16th of March, I honestly forgot about it. I didn't think about going. Like, I mean, it was in the back of my mind, like, oh, this is the day, like, we might be able to go this day. But I was already resigned to the fact that we weren't going. So when it popped up on the schedule that I had time off, I was like, time off for what? And then I remembered, oh, yeah, I was supposed to go on this little trip. I was like, well, it's cool. I'll just come into work. Like, I don't have anything else to do. It's not like anything's open. I can't go anywhere. So, recorded the episode last week. I think it recorded on a Tuesday. No, on a Monday. Oh yeah, because we were live from the streets. My man with the you got. I told you, you guys thought I'd be making it up. That's really how people be walking around outside here. And dude lives in my building. The guy with the yellow robe lives in my building. So I need to get it together because I'm obviously making the wrong financial decisions. But the morning came, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go into work today. I mean, I know I'm supposed to be off, whatever. I'm not tripping. I'll just work. I'll work for these 2 weeks and whatever. And at about 5, 6 in the morning, when I got up, I was like, yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm just not gonna go to work. I already had the PTO, so I can cover it. I was like, I'm just gonna kick it. I'm gonna self quarantine. I'm gonna go to the house because I haven't really had a break. I mean, we went to Hawaii, yeah, but that was unplanned. Like there wasn't really of my doing. That was a surprise trip that the missus had planned. This I knew was coming, and this is what I was excited about. But I decided, you know what? It's not even gonna be a mental health vacation. It's gonna be a self quarantine. So I'm just gonna self quarantine the house. I My wife has been working from home for maybe the last month or so. She hasn't had to go into work, so she's been at the house kicking it. Well, no, she's been doing all of the duties that she was supposed to do according to her boss. But she has had some extra time to hang out at the house. So I come home and I discover, because Jesus, I haven't watched TV in, I don't know. I mean, I watch a movie every now and then, but I mean, I don't really deal with the TV. I don't know the favorite stations and all that type of stuff. I found out that we have Netflix. Apparently, my wife got bored and decided that she was going to order Netflix, the subscription service. So I was like, okay, I guess that's whatever. Then I also found out that she ordered Stars and HBO. I guess it's like $10 a month or something. But I was like, what? We've never had this before. Like, why? What is this? Oh well, I was at the house and I started watching Mighty Ducks, and then I saw it. I was like, oh okay, I already see. So what was it? Yeah, because she watched Ladybugs, Mighty Ducks. She watched The Land Before Time the other day. Oh yeah, we talked about this. Like, how have you never seen The Land Before Time? Like it's a classic. So yeah, so it was. I'm checking out the TV, seeing what my options are, and there was all kinds of throwbacks. Lethal Weapon. I think the Brewster's Millions was on there. That was a good one. I watched some Transformers. I watched Spawn. I didn't know there was so much good stuff on TV. I was like, ooh, I gotta check this out more often. We watched a couple of new ones on Netflix. What was it? The Extractor. That's with the guy that plays Thor. Now he's like in the army and he's doing WWF moves with people. It was deep. It was the the one thing I was kind of excited about was I got to get my workout routine, like I got it down pat now. So in the morning, bam, I got my little yoga mat busted out, hit my little stretches for about 15, 20 minutes. Boy, I'm here to tell you, if you are over the age of 29 and 364 days, invest in your little $10, $15 yoga mat, get your little stretch routine. There's about 15, 16 of them that I do. No music, no TV, no nothing. I do 3 sets of everything. I do three, like, count to 10. So, bam, hit your right side, hit your left side, 3 sets of that. Do all 16 of those. I feel like a whole new person. No joke. Like, it's kind of hard when you get older because I never understood. Pops used to always tell me, he was like, when he was at his eldest age, he was saying it's difficult because in your mind you remember always being able to physically do things, but as you get older your body is like, yo, we can't do that, my guy. So when you were young, 22, 23, it was nothing to sleep for 2 or 3 hours, get up, run around, do all types of stuff. Now it's like, you gotta knock the dust off. You gotta put some oil in them joints, get them lubed up, get you ready to go. You can't just be out there moving and grooving. But maybe it's about a good 15, 20 minutes. Get that nice stretch on, then bam, go upstairs, hit the jump rope for maybe another 20 minutes. There is, what is it? I've got what is it? The little, oh my gosh, the curl bar got maybe 40 pounds on it. Two 10-pound weights in the 25. Everything is to failure. Just do reps until you fail. The next arm, next exercise, same thing. Maybe about 10, 15 minutes worth of rest. Bam, do it again. To failure. Oh my gosh. It feels amazing. I mean, I would love to be in the gym so I could ride my bike for hours and hours and hours and hours. But a lot of the stuff is just basic body weight stuff. Squats, crunches, doing the little baby weights and stuff. It feels amazing. And I had the whole week. So like, and no one was here because my wife had to go, actually had to go in last week. So it was just me and the girls. We were just kicking it. They're looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, why is Daddy laid out in the middle of the living room stretching like that? And it was kind of like, because after the first day or two, TV got kind of boring. Like, there's only so many movies or so many TV shows. So if I wanted to watch a TV show, I made it like it used to be at the gym, where if you want to watch TV, you got to work out. You got to do some crunches, you got to do some squats, you got to lift some weights. So every 15 minutes, you got to do the same workout again. So if it takes me 10, 15 minutes to do the workout, rest for 15. So that way when I'm watching the movie, I'm not just sitting there eating ho-hos and ring ding. You know what I found out today? I had my first bonbon last week. I had no idea what bonbons were. I just thought it was something that Peggy Bundy ate. Like, I thought it was like a made up something. Like, I had no idea that was real. And then my wife bought some. Was like, "You want some bonbons?" I was like, "So what? Those are real?" It's, what is it? It's ice cream with like a thin chocolate shell. It's okay, but I mean, it's, I don't know. It was that was my uh, that was my first experience with the bonbon. But yeah, it was. Oh my gosh! Not only that, but since I got to do the workout and stuff, I'm at the house. I had the dogs with me, so I will take the dogs. We'll go around the lake. Well, the baby dog can't go that far, so she'll go maybe a mile or something. But then the bigger one, we could probably go around the lake or something. And it's amazing how many people all of a sudden are exercising, because I'd never seen any of these people before. Before this last month or so, walking around the lake, not a soul. Now you walk around the lake, oh my God. Everybody's got their gym clothes on and everybody's a fitness guru. I mean, that's what's up though. I'll never try to shame someone for working out or half-ass working out, whatever. As long as you're out being mobile, trying to get it together, that's what's up. I'm your biggest fan. Anything beats sitting in front of the TV, eating Mountain Dew and chewing on cheese puffs, my guy. Like that's, mm-mm. So that's, I mean, that's one of the good things about this is that it gives you some time to really like get your house in order, get your little workout plan going. I mean, you have nothing but time, absolutely nothing but time. You have no reason not to be working out right now, even if it's basic stuff, push-ups, sit-ups, crunches. Like that's just the very basic of a workout. Knock the dust off. So, I mean, who doesn't feel better after a workout? Well, I have to remember. I had this conversation before with a buddy of mine that used to do Herbalife, and he was, and dude is, oh my gosh, looks like an action figure. All the muscles defined, works out, all that type of stuff. And we were talking because he was into it before the before the pyramid fell. And he was like, "It's so frustrating having to talk to people and try to get them to take their health serious. And I don't understand why they can't work out. And if you could watch a TV show, you could work out and so on and so forth." And I was like, my man, I 100% agree with what you're saying. What you're saying makes sense. I get it. Like, it's your health is the most important thing you got. You can't buy health. Like, that's not a thing. I was like, but what you also have to remember is working out is hard, fam. Like, not only is working out hard, but going to the gym is a hassle. Eating habits, building good eating habits is something that doesn't just happen overnight. It's something that you have to want to do. He's like, yeah, but people can do. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it one step further. How long have you been playing sports? And he said he'd been playing, I don't know, since first grade, second grade. I was like, I have also played since like first grade, kindergarten. And most of the people we know have played sports most of their life, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, the thing that you have to understand is people who've never played sports, they're not used to sweating like that. They're not used to physically exerting themselves for fun. I was like, and you have to realize that. If you've never played sports your entire life, you've never really been physically active, what makes you think that at 25, 30, 35, 40, that one day they're just going to be able to get up and just go to the gym and just knock it down? Battle through fatigue, pain, hunger. Like, what makes you think that? And he kind of paused and he was like, you know what, you're right. He's like, I didn't think about it like that. And I was like, yeah, because you're thinking about it from your standard. Like, it's easy to you. Like, just like how we were talking about it. when I think about going to the gym, I'm already thinking about, okay, I'm going to be here for like 2 hours. I have to ride the bike. I have to do this. I have to do this. For some people, that's unheard of. And if you've never been to the gym, it's intimidating to walk in not really knowing the exercises to do, not really understanding the culture of things. It's like you can't, it's easy to critique, but you need to look at it from the other person's point of view and understand why they're doing what they're doing. Like, yeah, I feel you. Everyone needs to get their little Herbalife fund and get it together, but you have to take people from where they're at. I made the mistake. I was dating this girl way before the lovely Mrs. Tru Sav, and she was saying the same. Oh, I want to get in shape. I was like, well, okay. At the time, there was a gym maybe less than a mile from my house. So I was like, all right, let's go. Like, I'll take you one day. I'll run you through a workout. And I'm sure she thought the same thing, that everyone thinks like, oh, you're old, you're washed up, like you don't look like you were playing any sports. So they assume like I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, all right. I worked her so hard. She called her dad in the middle of the workout and was like, can you please tell him to stop? I can't take it. And I wasn't even doing anything. I didn't go above and beyond. I didn't do anything that I didn't normally do in the workout. It was, I think, what you start out 150 crunchies, like 50 push-ups, basic stuff. 150 push-ups, 150 crunchies. Do your stretches. I think 4 of 10. It was 4 up, 4 down. So 4 upper body workouts, 4 lower body workouts to 10 minimal weight. And then you end with I think 30 minutes of cardio. She almost died, and I just couldn't understand. And then I was like, oh, you've never really like been in athletics, so this is all new to you. So this is why when my man asked me the question about why people didn't take it serious, I was like, it's just not everybody. Everyone isn't like us. I mean, you've got to understand, sir. You've got to understand. So I have personally been enjoying my mental health, or excuse me, this is the mental health vacation. This is a self quarantine. I almost forgot, but it's kind of I needed to wrap my mind around the whole manager situation too, because it's fun. It's fun being the manager sometimes, but being an employee is so much more fun. Like you just get to come to work, do your stuff, and go home. I don't have to care about anything. I don't have to make sure stuff is done. So as much as I would like to believe that this is a mental health vacation, this wasn't. This was. I think I was mentally preparing myself for what I know is going to come. Because the problem with transitioning from kind of employee to boss is like now I have to act different. I have to dress different. I have to talk different. Like it's one thing to be someone's contemporary. It's another thing to be their peer. So like, okay, we were equals last week, but now this week I can tell you what to do, and you've got to do it. So that's never cool. Like that's so I learned my lesson a long time ago in Bakersfield when this happened because this was the same scenario. They had wanted me as management when they first hired me, but I told them I was like, no, look, I'm just trying to come to work, do my 40 hours, and go home. Like I'm not really looking for that right now. I'm just trying to live my life. So when the point finally came to where I did get bumped up, I had to learn some very tough lessons very quickly. Um, one of the things I learned is that when you do become the boss, you have to care about other people's problems. And not so much that you have to care taking them home, but you're now, I don't want to say involved. Let me give you an example. So there was a young lady that we used to work with, and her name was, we'll call her Eileen. And Eileen was always angry. Like she was always mad every day. Like if if the wind blew too hard, she would get mad. And personally, I didn't care. Like whatever, if you want to be mean, like that's your thing. But the problem was we would get complaints about her attitude. So where I normally wouldn't care and would just be like, well, that's her personal problem. She's got to deal with it. I had to now come in and talk to her and be like, hey, like every time when you come into work, like you're tripping. What's the problem? Or if you don't view what you're doing as, I don't want to say inappropriate, but if you don't see that how you're talking to people is a problem, like why is this? And so we talked for a little bit, and she told me that that was how her mother used to talk to her father, like in a very condescending, rude, borderline disrespectful tone. So that's how she saw her parents interact. So that's how she in turn interacted with every person she ever came into contact with. So she wasn't a bad person. It was just that's the type of behavior she had learned in her household. So since that was the type of behavior that she learned, she just assumed that that's how you were supposed to talk to everybody. And I had to remind her, like, no, my dear, like that's not that's not how you talk to people in any way, shape, or form. And again, as an employee, like that wasn't something that I had to worry about. But unfortunately, when you take the step up, that's something that you have to do. Conversely, you have to manage people's BS. This this is the hardest part, especially when you went from peer to now I'm in charge because now I know all your bullshit. I know where you like to hide, where you don't want to work. I know how you half-ass work. I know how you do. I know everything about you because you told me because we were on the same level. But now that we're not, again, it creates a situation because you can't bullshit me. You can't tell me, oh, well, I meant to do so and so because it's like, no, I already know what lie you're gonna say, so that's not gonna work with you, or excuse me, that's not gonna work for you. And then again, when you're managing their nonsense, you kind of have to stay above it. So it was fun to be in the break room and listen to people talk about so and so did this and, and this this team leader is this and this team member is that. Like that was cool. Like sitting in the break room watching people signify like that's part of the job. Like that's part of the thing. But like now, like I can't be a part of that. You can't be talking about so and so in front of me. You can't be talking about so and so did this, that, and the third. Like you got to kind of be above it. Trust me. Excuse me. Trust me. As being a Professor Petty, it is very hard to not participate in the nonsense. But I mean, you just got to kind of let it go. It's a it's a hazard. One oh my gosh. I mean, the pay raise, I guess that's cool. Not really. It just comes with more responsibility. Also, it's more difficult because now you're in the spotlight. And when you're in the spotlight, I always suggest that you refer to a wonderful book by Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. One of the laws of power is to raise your value through absence and scarcity, meaning you don't always want to be in people's faces. You don't want to always be in the limelight because what happens is when you're in the light, that's when people can see the cracks in your armor. They can see, oh, he has an issue with this, he has an issue with that. Oh, look at his armor's cracked down here. So you want to kind of stay away from from the public eye when you're in any kind of position of power because once they see the cracks in your armor, that's how they can take you down. They're like, oh, I know he takes his lunch from 10 o'clock to 10:45, so if I'm gonna goof around, I can do that. Or I know he has particular taste for certain things, and that's how you can get caught up. So once you make the switch from employee to manager, that kind of changes things, and again changes how you have to act. Like you said, um, oh, the number one rule if you're going to be management, they always turn on you. They always turn on you, my guy. It's just the way the game goes. They'll they'll tell you how much they love you. They'll tell you how great you are, as long as you're giving them what they want. The second that you do something that they don't like, or you tell them no to something that they want, they will turn on you in a heartbeat, boy. I Trust me, I've done the research, and it's not even a bad thing. Like I understand, like that's the way the game goes. When I was an employee and I had bosses, I'd ask them, "Hey, I want to do this or that." And they'd be like, "Nah, something." I felt some kind of way, like, oh, so it was cool when I was coming in late and I was bringing you that pizza, but now woo woo. So I mean, I understand. A couple of things that jumped out that made me when I was thinking about this. There was a couple of incidents during my managerial time that stuck out. One of them was my man. Oh, I can't say his name. I'm not gonna do him like that. One of the first shifts I had, I was working with dude, and a guy comes in, customer comes in, bloop 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 bloop. I'm not paying attention at all. I think I'm at the register. He's at the end, and the kid comes up to me. He had to be 16, 17 at the time. He looks me dead in the eye and tells me he's not going to serve this customer. So I look down at the end. I'm trying to see what the problem is. It's a Indian guy, dot not feather, had the turban on. It was obvious to me that he was Indian. Like I could just look at it and be like, oh okay, you're whatever. So the kid tells me I'm not going to serve him. And I was like, excuse me. He's like, yeah, I'm not serving him. I was like, well, why not? He's like, because he was responsible for 9/11. I know. That's why I made such a point to describe him as Indian. So I so I stopped. I took dude to the back for a second. I was like, "Oh, sorry, folks. We gotta have a staff meeting real quick. I just need to talk to him." So I said, "What do you mean responsible for 9/11?" And he was like, "You know, because he's the Arab." And I said, "Really? That Indian guy right there? He's an Arab." And he was like, "Yeah, they're responsible for 9/11, and I'm not going to serve him." Because I was like, first of all, yes, you are going to serve him. Not only are you going to serve him, you're going to help him all the way down. Not only are you going to help him, but his meal just came out of your tip money. So, anything else you'd like for me to, or anything else you'd like to tell me before you go serve this gentleman? So, he looked at me, looked at dude, looked at me again. He thought about it, and he went and helped him. Told him it was on the house, whatever. I just kept track of what it was and took it out as tips. So after he helped him, I told him come to the back. So I'm like, yo, number one, that's not acceptable to ever do. Even if I'm not here, I don't care who's here. Like if I ever hear about anything like that, me and you might have to fight, like in real life. Like that's totally not acceptable. So I had a write up in my hand. So I said, look, this is what we're gonna do. This is your write up for saying that you're not gonna help dude. I can either fold this up and throw it away, or you can go in there and be on your best behavior. I mean, I don't want to hear a complaint. I don't want to hear anything. Scrub the floors, do what you got to do. But like, I need A1 customer service from you, and this will disappear. So he's like, all right, fine, whatever. He goes in there, does his thing. So I immediately get on the phone and call the owner, and had to rat on him like, yo, this is what dude just did, and he was just as appalled. And he said the same thing I said. He was like, if he's 17 and it's 2015, like you weren't even alive when 9/11 happened. And if you were still in Pampers. Like you don't even know what happened. So it's obvious that you're repeating something that you heard. And the fact that you can't tell the difference between an Indian and an Arab, you need to have several seats, sir. Shut your bitch ass up. Now, while while my man was a junior Klansman in training, I understand people come from different backgrounds. Like, he's still young. So I understand that this wasn't him talking. He had heard someone say this before and it got a positive reaction. So he said it. Like, I get it. I didn't think the kid was a junior Klansman or anything like that. He was young. So after this incident and some other weird incidents, I would still talk to people. Like again, I know I said one of the 48 laws is absence and scarcity, but that's for a different situation. In this one, there was only maybe 10, 15 of us in this whole store. So I knew everyone. And I got to talking to dude, and we would talk about that and his stepdad and stepmom, whatever. He had been having some issues. He had ran away from home one time, or didn't go home or something. It's it's difficult as an adult sometimes to relate to kids because I can't remember high school. I, I remember a couple people from back then, but it's hard as an adult to empathize with kids who are still in high school because I'm on a completely different wavelength now. I, I I don't remember who the cool kids were. I don't remember what we had to do to fit in. It just doesn't, because it doesn't matter, and I know it doesn't matter. But it's hard to explain to someone in high school like all these people that you know and you talk to and that you interact with. In 10 years, you're never going to see any of them again. Like you're never going to see them. Like you might see them on Facebook or something, but you'll never interact with them the way that you interact with them now. And none of the things that are happening have any bearing on real life. And it was strange because I was black in Bakersfield, so a lot of these kids had never met anyone black that was on the type of hype that I was. Like they'd met some black people, but they all wanted to be thugs and shit. So seeing me there and having me to talk to changed his outlook on a lot of things. And I know I'd had to talk to him a couple times about running away and not feeling comfortable talking to his parents and stuff like that. And again, I didn't sign up for that. Like that was definitely not part of the management experience that I wanted. But I had to tell him because he had ran away a couple times, and I was like, man, look, like regardless of how you feel about whatever situation is going on, where you feel like you need to run away and stuff, like you're not old enough. Like you're not prepared. You don't have the money to do it. You don't have anywhere to go. All you're gonna do is stress your mom out. That's all you're gonna do. Like you need to focus on your school stuff. You need to focus on being a good child, an obedient child. And if when the day comes you turn 18, you want to move out, do your thing. Like, but all this little petty stuff you're doing, the starting squabbles between your mom and stepdad, like, just leave that be. When you turn 18, move out, do your thing. And his mom had came up there a couple of weeks after that, maybe a month after that. She bought me a cake. I felt so special. And she basically said the same thing that the other young lady's mom had said. I know I talked about her before, Shaquita. Like, thank you so much for, like, you didn't have to. You're the manager. You could have just been like, come to work, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. But, like, you took the time to, like, actually talking through what was obviously a difficult situation that was a rather personal situation. And that's, I don't want to say that's why I didn't want to be it because I didn't want to have to deal with it, but it's something that comes with it. Like you just don't get to be, oh, I'm in charge of this. I just get to tell you what to do. Like it's a bigger responsibility than that, which is why I was like, man, I'm tired. I don't want to have to deal with all this. But in that particular circumstance, I would definitely say it was rewarding. Now, when it wasn't so rewarding, I think I had to have talked about this. The guy who was the GM before me, he ended up getting fired for sexual harassment. I'll really quickly I'll skim over this. He got fired. Well, that's not why he got fired, but there was then at this point I was still a regular employee in Bakersfield. I was just hanging out, and yeah, I had to have talked about this. Dude was making sexual advances towards people and telling girls if you let me take pictures of your ass, like I'll give you more hours. Like he was, whew, like he was that guy in the sexual harassment training that you were like, who did that? Because for there to be a rule, someone had to have broken it. So I would always think like, who are these people that are talking like this that we have to watch this video? Well, I met him, and he's a real person, and everything that they say in the video is like someone really said. It was it boggles the mind. The most definitely. So in this particular situation, he had been saying whatever to employees, and allegedly he was dealing with one of them that was like 17 something. I digress. And it came to the awkward moment where HR got involved. And so I get the call. Well, actually, you know what? I didn't get the call. What had happened was before it got to HR, one of the girls came and was like, "Hey, I need to talk to you." I'm like, "Well, okay, how can I help you?" And she goes on this spiel and tells me everything that dude has said to her, things that he said to different women that work there, and they're just like, "We don't know what to do." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, you have to go say something." And what blew my mind was that that never crossed their mind. Now, I don't know if it was because they were young or if it was because of the city that we were in and they just thought that that was okay. Like they genuinely believed that it was okay for their boss to talk to them like that. Like that was just how the world was. And I was like, "No, ladies. No, 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 no. This is only cool in Bakersfield. Like you're not going to be telling girls, "Hey, let me take a picture of your ass and I'll put you on the schedule." Like that's just not going to work. Well, maybe. I guess in smaller towns, like they figure that things like that are acceptable. This in Bakersfield was already like it was the 70s. It was a lot of gender roles, a lot of weird stuff going on. But what ended up happening was they got together, got their stories together, and went to HR. So I get a phone call from the old GM, and he's crying, like real tears. Like I can hear it through the phone. Man, HR said that I was sexually harassing these girls, and I know you know that I didn't have it right. Awkward silence. Yeah, man. Yeah, of course you weren't sexually harassing anybody. Sure. Okay, I just need you to tell HR that if this and this. I was like, I mean, if they call me, bro, I'm just gonna tell them what happened. But I mean, I guess like you were boohooing when you were taking ass shots, my guy. So I don't know. But in the end, the this was the worst thing ever. In the end, nothing happened to him. Do you know why nothing happened to him? Because none of the girls came together and had a cohesive story. It was all kind of, it was one girl saying that all this happened. She didn't talk to the other ones first, so no one could back up her story. So in the end, she quit, and some of the other ones quit, and that was just the end of it. And dude skated. Yeah, that was horrible because it was just like, but at the time I was a regular employee, so I really had no say in what was going on, and HR never called me. So it was just like, wow, this blew up our whole situation because dude is being a scumbag. Like that was mm, not a good moment in my management history. Like that. Well, I wasn't in management, but that was that was horrible. Like that was, mm, especially because it reinforced what they already thought that this type of behavior is acceptable. If it is reported, it'll be swept under the rug, and we'll go about our day. So I was like, damn. Mm. Let's see. The last one. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Another thing. Another thing I figured out. People will always tell you, especially the people that you're friends with, if you were friends and then you became management, so now technically you were their boss. That's always the person you're gonna have a problem with every time. Like there's never been a situation where I went from employee to management where the person that you hung out with the most is always going to be the problem. And it's crazy because they swore up and down, "Oh no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Like I'm gonna be the best employee. Like anything you need, just ask." I'm like, okay. um, let's see. One day, because we were horribly understaffed. It was myself and I think two other people, or it might have been no, it was me and another guy. I'm I'm the new manager. At this point, I think I was working doubles. This happened during the time I was working doubles. So I had worked like 20 something doubles, 2025. So this girl comes in. I'm chilling. I'm the manager. So we're sitting there shooting shit. Like, hey, da, 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 da. There's no real customers in the store. Like, there wasn't enough to where I needed to stop what I was doing and go help dude. 'Cause, I mean, dude was good. He knew how to help people all the way down, knew how to do the register, all that type of stuff. So, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes goes by, 40 minutes goes by, I'm sitting here kicking it. So then I think a couple of people walked in, I'm like, all right, I'm going to holler at you. I'm going to go I'm going to go help my man. 4 o'clock rolls around, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I think two of the night crew people came in. So we're rocking. Now the line is building. It's maybe 6, 7, 8 deep. And we're not even talking about people. We're talking about groups. So the first group might be 3 people. The second group might be 4. The third group might be 1. And so on and so forth. So my man walks up to me at 7 o'clock and is like, hey, I got to go. I'm like, you don't see this line? Like, it's not even your lunchtime. Like, your lunch isn't for like another hour. What are you doing? No, like, I need to leave like right now. So, I'm like, bro, I can't stop you, but I mean, I don't understand why you need to leave right now. Like, could you give me a little insight? Like, what's going on? No, I just gotta go. I'm like, you know you're gonna get a write up if you leave, right? Well, I don't care. So I was like, all right, fam, do your thing. So he leaves. I don't even call the other manager. Like I mean, at this point, like we're sunk. So bam, I start helping. Maybe an hour and a half goes by. No. I think maybe an hour went by. So a dude comes back. So I don't say anything. Hop off the line, let him do his thing. Because I think we close at 9. It's like the last hour is always slow. So bam, I start cleaning up, doing my thing. The other manager had called me. She called the store. She's like, "Hey, uh, did Jay leave?" And I was like, "Ah, fuck, I didn't mean to do that." So the other manager calls me, and she's like, "Hey, did oh boy leave?" And I was like, "Yeah, he left." She's like, "Oh, because he called me and said that you told him he couldn't leave and this and this and this." And I was like, "Look, when our shift started, I was in the lobby talking to this girl, whatever, and he was there maybe like 40 minutes by himself. I was like, there was no one in there. It wasn't like there was a line. It's not like there was 10 people in there and I just let him do the work. He told me he had to go. I asked him why. He wouldn't tell me and he left. She's like, okay, that makes more sense. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I only believe you because you said you were talking to this girl for like 30 minutes because that was the first thing that he said. And then he had some other kind of variation of the story. And I was like, again, I'm not tripping. I'm just gonna give him this write up tomorrow, and that's gonna be it. Like, I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna. There's no point. Like, there's nothing that I can say to him that will make him understand what I'm saying. So you're just gonna take this write up, and if you don't get it, then hey, all right. So we close the store. Next day comes. So again, I'm working doubles, so I'm just in here. So he comes in. Did you talk to the other manager? Yes, I did. Are you gonna give me a write up? Yes, I am. Well, I'm not gonna sign it. Okay. And he kind of paused. He was like, well, you can't make me sign it. I was like, that is true. I cannot make you sign it. Well, I'm not going to sign it. I was like, again, I'm not debating this fact. You said you don't want to sign it. I'm not going to ask you to sign it. It's fine. You're still going to get it. I think you not signing it doesn't somehow make it void. So I don't understand the point of trying to argue with you about it. I said what I said. Well, I was like, look, man, you want to go outside and talk about this? Like, you obviously have something that you really need to get off your chest about this. So let's go outside and talk about it. So we go outside, and I'm like, I don't even understand what the problem was. Like, I don't understand why you can't tell me why you had to leave. Like, what? What did you have to do that you had to leave right then and there? And so he kind of takes a breath, takes a pull on a cigarette, and he was like, "Oh, I had to go pick my son up." And so I looked at him. I was like, "Are you fucking serious? You had to pick. You couldn't have just said like, "Hey, my babysitter's leaving. I have to pick my son up. I'll be back." Like, what would have been the problem with that? oh, well then this and this and this and that. I was like, bro. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I'm stuck here just like how you're stuck here, my guy. I don't want to be here. You think I want to be in here sweating, smelling like barbecue every day? No. I just need you to help me get through the day. That's all our goal is to do. Get through the day, make sure this motherfucker don't burn down, and we're good. Like you should be able to come tell me that. Like there will never be a situation where you say I need to go pick my son up, and I would be like, no, nigga, get back there and cut them ribs. Like what? I was like, well, okay, so that's over with. So how do we fix this going forward? Like how do we resolve this? Oh well, I just get so stressed because of this, and this, and this. And I was like, look, I tell you what, this is what we'll do then. Today, you don't have to be a because what he did was he was a guy that would cut the meat and stuff for your order, and that stuff was a pain in the ass, boy, because it was hot to the motherfucker. So I was like, look, this is what we'll do. I will do your position today, and you can be on the register. So this way, you can learn how to do the register. You can talk to people because you don't really get to use your salesmanship when you're up here on the line. So we'll switch for today. Will that work better for you? Well, yeah. And whoop whoop. So we come back in. Now it's already tense because everyone knows what happens. So they're trying to fill us out to see what happens. They know we went outside to talk about it. So we come back in. He hops on the register. I hop on the line, and everyone just kind of looks and they're like, "Wait, what? You're how come what?" And it actually ended up working out perfect because when I ended up moving to Okanda, he was the only one left that had any sense. So he knew how to do the register already. He knew how to do all that. So it set him up perfect. I said all that to say, as much as I, as much as I dislike being in charge of stuff, I see it as an opportunity to, when you're put in a position of power like that, it's not to be a bully to people. It's not to boss people around. It's you are a leader. You have to lead by example. You have to show people the type of employee that they need to be or type of person that you want them to be and go from there. Like I could have very easily been an asshole and tried to write him up and be like this, that, but that wouldn't have solved the problem. Not only would it have not solved the problem, but in the future, other people would have saw how I responded to that, and it would have reflected negatively on me. Because I mean, again, it was a misunderstanding. He didn't feel comfortable enough saying he had to go do whatever because he thought I would react a certain way. I mean, I get it. I completely understand it. And just like with the other situations, with the sexual harassment or dude saying he's not going to serve Indian dude, like, yeah, of course you could get him fired or whatever the case may be, but sometimes it's easier to teach somebody something than to get caught up in emotions and, well, I said, it's like, I don't take myself that serious. My word isn't gospel. Like, I didn't come down from Mount Sinai. It was like, you were going to do what I said. No, no, no. We're getting paid chump change, not Trump change. I've been saving that for years. I wanted to drop that on somebody. But like, bro, we're barely getting paid to be here. I'm just here to make sure everything goes smooth. Hopefully, we can learn some life lessons in between now and then. I mean, every manager I ever had that was cool was like that. They didn't take it too serious. And when I say didn't take it too serious, I mean they took their job serious, but they didn't feel like it gave them some sort of position of power over you because, oh, I've been here the longest, or I make $1 more than you, so now I get to tell you what to do. Like, nah, bro. So I don't know. I try to be friends. I try to be friendly, but not their friends. Like, I'll be nice, I'll be courteous, I'll be respectful, but once we walk outside those doors, like, we're not gonna hang out. Maybe now because I'm older. Like when I was younger, I might have hung out with them, but now it's kind of like I've seen what happens when you cross the line. Because when I'm your friend and not your boss, then it's going to be an issue. You're not going to want to listen. And then if you don't listen, how am I going to press somebody else for not doing something? Stuff like that. Uh, I always try to be consistent. Number one, I try to be fair. Like if I tell so and so they got to scrub the deck, then you got to scrub it. One thing I would always do also is I would try to lead by example. So if there was one of my favorite things to do was if you said I'm bored or I don't have anything to do, you got to clean the smoker, and that was horrible because the smoker was like what 20 feet, 20 feet by 6 feet, so 20 feet long, 6 feet wide, and the actual smoker part that you had to clean was probably about 6 feet by 4. So I'm 6'2", and I could barely reach to the end of the thing with a shovel because the way the smoker worked, there was 6 racks. On the 6 racks, you put all your beef, pork, chicken, whatever, and all of the stuff underneath the meat, all the fat, all the grease, it would drip down to the bottom of the smoker. And if you didn't clean it for like maybe a week or two, you would have all of these chunks of meat that had like fallen off and all the grease and stuff, and it would be at the bottom. And the smoker, you wouldn't cook right because for the smoker to cook right, you need water. You need the water to evaporate, turn it into heat, so on and so forth. But when there's nothing but oil at the bottom, it's like a dry heat. It's not the wet heat that you need. I don't know why I'm explaining this in detail. I promise it at a point. So you would have to scrape the fat and all that stuff. First, you'd have to scrape the fat and stuff. First, you had to turn it off, which was always a pain in the ass. You had to turn it off, take all of the racks out, because even over the course of a week, it's going to be caked on. So you had to take all the racks off, scrape the racks, and you had to use degreaser. Like there was no, you were just going to put Dawn on this and think that was going to be the end of it. Mm-mm. So you get your degreaser, you had to scrub that, get all of that gook and stuff out of there, rinse it out, put all that stuff back in there. This probably took like 2 hours, maybe 3. So the first couple of times I did it. So it'd be like, oh, like, and I would tell them like, no, this is what we have to do every week. Like, this is what the manual thing says. So I'll do it now. Well, I didn't tell them that I was going to do it now. They were going to do it later, but they saw me do it. They saw me scrub the floors. They saw me clean chairs in the dining room. They saw me clean the bathroom. So when I turned around and was like, "Hey, yo, I'm gonna need you to go holler at that bathroom, or I'm gonna need you to go holler at that smoker," they couldn't be like, "Oh, well, why don't you do it? Why haven't you done it before?" Because I was the first one to do it. So when you're leading by example, it makes it more difficult for people not to follow because it's like if you can do it, then obviously they can do it. It makes it that much easier. Oh, this is the hardest one. Do not have favorites. They tell you not to, but we all know it's bullshit. Just like your parents say, "Oh, I don't have a favorite child." Yes, they do. it's it's innate. It's human nature. There's always going to be people that you're drawn to, whether it be through personality, uh, just the type of energy that they put out. There's certain people you're going to like, and certain people you're not going to like. Me personally, I love all of God's children. It doesn't matter what you've done. I still love you. But it's hard because there's just certain people that come to work and do a good job. It's hard not to like them. It's hard not to give them a break on certain things, which is why favoritism is so easy to fall into. Because if you're a good employee, you come to work, you do what I asked you to do, and you're 5 minutes late. Am I gonna get on you? No. Should I? Yes. But if you're a bad employee, you have a bad attitude, no one likes you, and you're 5 minutes late, I'm on your head. But conversely, I would try to be fair with something like that. Like if you're late, you're late. Like I can't bend the rules for you because then what happens when this other employee does it? Now it's favoritism. It's not a good thing. Most important for me, I try to make their lives better. I will really ask people like, is this what you want to do? Like, is this do you really want to be at Dickie's Barbecue Pit for the rest of your life? Like, is that what you want to do, or do you want to be at this grocery store owned by Whole Foods? And if you don't, that's cool. Like, I don't have a problem with that. Like, that's an honest. You're just coming to work to work. That's what's up. But for people who want to stay in a particular industry or just want help developing their skills, like those are the people that I kind of look for. Because I mean, if you're a piece of shit and you just want to be here, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. If you just want to work, you just want to draw your paycheck and go home, that's what's up. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's cool. If and I'll work with you as an employee. this, and this. Here's your setup. This is what you do every day. So if you want to structure, I got you. If you want to develop as a person and learn some other stuff, that's what I'm here for more than anything. I want you to win. I'm. I used to always say, because my wife was like, I don't understand how come you can't like get a job, like you're so qualified. I was like, because who wants to hire their boss? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, if I look at your resume and I see that you have more qualifications than me, like, why would I hire you? And I'm not speaking about me specifically. I'm saying as an employer, because I've seen people do it. I've seen them literally look at an application, be like, oh, what? A degree of this experience, oh, and throw it away. Because if you know that you're floating or you're coasting at your job, you're not really that good. You've just there because you've been there the longest or something like that. Why would you want competition? Why would you want someone who's clearly better than you to be there? Because now it's going to put pressure on you. Now you've got to step your game up and you've got to actually make some changes. And people don't want to do that. Again, I'm not here to point fingers and say it's right or wrong, but some people some people move up based on time, meaning they've been at a job for so long that that's how they move up the ladder. Some people move up because they're good. And if you're not ready for the challenge, why would you want someone there that's better than you? I feel the exact opposite. I want someone that's better than me. I want someone who will be able to keep things going, make this business better. Like there's no point. Like that's almost embarrassing. Like why would you want to be the head of a shitty company? If your company is drowning or your business is about to close, but I'm the manager, but you're about to close. Like obviously you're the reason why it's not working. Like I would never want to stifle someone else's development based on my ego. I did that you're a hater. Like that's you see someone is better than you at something and then you hate to try to keep them from shining like that. I don't know. But that's why it's so difficult trying to be in charge of stuff because it's like there's so many more nuances to it and it's a lot deeper than I'm in charge and I can make the schedule and I can tell you what to do and da, 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 da. It's it's funny because I was just talking to Phonetics, but literally before I did this episode, and we're shooting shit, talking about the good old days, and he gets a phone call from I guess his boss or something. He's like, "Yeah, hold on." So he clicks over, and it's like 2 minutes. So I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like this must be a real conversation. So he clicks back over, and he was like, "Man, this motherfucker." I'm like, "Wait, what happened?" He's like, "I just had to cuss my boss out." I was like, "Wait, what? You got to caution?" Okay, explain. And basically, he said his boss had called and was like, "Oh, because he's on call." So the boss says like, "Hey, will you be ready in like an hour or something?" He's like, "Nah, I'm chilling." Da, 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 da. So the boss is like, "Well, why aren't you ready?" And this and this and this. And Phonetic said before he can finish his sentence, he's like, "Let me stop you right there." I see you're under the mistaken impression that I need this job. Like, I don't need you or this job, motherfucker. And he said the boss was laughing. He's like, "Oh, you think this is a joke? Let me stop you. I'm being dead serious. I made some good financial decisions in my life, so I don't need this fucking job." And I was like, "Bro, what are you doing?" And he's like, "No, I was dead serious. Like, if you're gonna fire me, then fire me. But like, you're not gonna try to hold this little basic ass job over my head. Like, that's what you're not gonna do because I don't feel like coming to work." Like, and it was funny because we had literally just had this conversation about being a boss and being a leader, and here it is, dudes calling talking about, "Are you gonna show up to this job?" Like, nah, bro, get the fuck out of here. Like, shout out to Phonetics. That was a fucking funny one. Jesus, you gotta be crying. Oh, some people won't respect you until you disrespect them. That is that was the realest thing I ever heard. Some people just don't get it. They can't respect you until you tell them, "I'm gonna grab you by your goddamn neck and choke you." uh, wow. All right. Well, that is all for this exciting episode of the Best Day Ever podcast. Um, again, thank you for your votes on this artwork situation. I, I heard you loud and clear. You want you want the beach one. and it's got to be the real beach. All right. Um, I have a couple other pictures from vacation where we're on the beach. I think that's like a thing with me. I don't know. I just love taking the beach pictures. Those, I guess I'll rotate those from time to time. Still looking for the logo. I have a guy that I really like, but he takes forever to do these pictures. I'm gonna hold off on that one though, because that's a super secret surprise. I got that one. Hopefully, I can get it copywritten. That's gonna take months though to get it copywritten. Um, Start making some shirts and stuff. Shirts, sweaters, hats, polos. Oh my gosh, I even got a logo made up. It's beautiful things are coming for the Best Day Ever podcast. Again, questions, comments, concerns. If oh yeah, movie suggestions. Because bro, I've got nothing but time. I think I'm gonna be off this week too. I don't know. Depends on how indigent I want to be. Best Day Ever podcast at gmail.com. Questions, comments, concerns. Tru Sav Comedy, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm finally figuring Twitter out. Twitter is a convoluted situation, but I'm starting to get it under control. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Best Ever Podcast at gmail.com. Oh, yeah, Tru Sav 52 on your PlayStation Network. Anybody can get it. I just figured out, this is slowly but surely. Like, bro, I'm old. I'm trying to get it together. I posted my last couple of games that I played, where I played against actual people, and I realized that you can't hear me talk to them. You can hear me talking, but you can't hear them talking back. So once I figure that out, it's going to be interesting. Made a couple friends from Tennessee and Georgia. That was exciting. You know, you really are nice for a colored fella. Well, thank you, Leroy. I appreciate that. That was sweet of you. Again, savages, it's that time of the day. We have to say goodbye. So I just wanted to tell you, if nobody else is telling you, I believe in you. I hope the best things in life happen to you and only you. I miss you guys so much. I love you guys even more. Take a breath. Tell somebody you love them. Call that person. Wait a minute. Hold on. Before I leave, are we just going to act like Kanye West didn't steal my idea? For months, I've been telling y'all, let it go. That person you haven't talked to, that person you have that issue with, hit them up. Say what's up. And then Kanye says it's a new thing. I'm telling you, we're doing big things here at the Big Day Ever podcast. I didn't want to tell y'all. All right, I'll tell you. I really told Kanye to say that. I met him back in the day when he was doing College Dropout. He was like doing this tour thing. And we don't really talk about it in public because like his whole persona thing, him and that Donald Trump thing. But don't even trip. He's really a cool dude. I talk to him all the time. But yeah, that's why I give him certain things to say because he has more of a platform, so it's easier for him to get the message out. But it's cool. We're gonna start our own platform. It's all right. So remember, I can't get yesterday back. I might not get tomorrow. So that makes today the best day ever. All right, man. Stay out of trouble. Enjoy your guys' quarantine. Do whatever you do. Start a hobby. Tell somebody you love them. All that. I will see you next week. Holla at your boy. I might still be on vacation. I don't know. Peace.